toggle my mic. There we go. That was going to be fun. We were going to get into the show and realize that I had no audio and they could only hear you.
We're live, pal.
We are indeed for episode 8 already. 8 episodes in a pay-per-view in SWA, and as usual, a little bit biased, but I think we got a pretty good show tonight. As always, we'll have seven matches up, 7 matches down. We've got some tag team action tonight. We've got a submission match, something we've only seen specifically in pay-per-view format before, and some great singles action as well here in Dallas, Texas, for our eighth weekly episode. Actually, coming to you week to week now. New sort of the last couple weeks rather than the every other week that we had been doing. Much more consistent format.
Yeah, and we're excited to be kind of on a regular schedule. Up first tonight, Art Vandalia, the latex salesman himself, looking to get that first win, going up against Lazar Malveaux.
Yeah, and for those that were with us last week, you'll remember we talked a little bit about some of these people that are at the bottom that maybe have struggled and also haven't put in a lot of work. Vandalia falls into that category, and at 0-4 to his early career, I gotta say, if he drops to 0-5 after this match, it's going to be tough to imagine that we see much of him in the ring moving forward. So I'd say there's a lot on the line here tonight, but he's looking as confident as ever.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly believes in himself, but he is, slowly become the last man on that island because he can't win a match, man. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, he's dead even with Sparkles at 0-4 at the bottom of the power rankings. We still have a handful of people who have yet to get a win in singles action. But a couple of those have, at least had some success in tag team for Sparkles at 0-4 and Vandalia at 0-4. No such luck. And for Vandalia, this may be a do or die match here against Lazar Malveaux.
Yeah, it may be. And maybe if he can't make it happen, maybe his talents lie elsewhere. Maybe he should, look to manage some other folks or something. I don't know, but I think he's got to really consider it like maybe this is his last chance.
Yeah, it's possible. We've seen folks in wrestling sort of defy the odds, defy the confines of a expanding age, but perhaps Vandalia is just kind of at that point where, the mind is willing, but the body may just not be able to meet up with that.
Yeah. And what an opportunity here for Malveaux. He might be able, in the relatively early goings of SWA still, to be the first guy to, sort of ended someone's career. Not officially, this isn't a loser leaves town match or anything, but It certainly feels like it's kind of all on the line here for Vandalia, and Malveaux looking to play spoiler here.
Yeah, and you got to imagine that Vandalia feels a little bit of that pressure and kind of knows that going in, and if not, if he's not taking this seriously, then that's just going to be kind of more irons, more fuel to the flame there.
Yep.
And big start from Malveaux. For Malveaux, it's been a rough start. Also, I mean, he's kicked off his career at 1-3, not faring much better than Vandalia, but always good to have at least one win under your belt.
Almost two. We've talked about this a few times, but his match in the first round of our inaugural tournament looked to be won, and then some sort of mental hiccup spelled his doom. But he looked good in that match, and then he's gotten a win since then. Those are, he's not top of the power rankings, but those are building blocks. That's the kind of stuff you use to start your momentum. And if you can get another win here, that's just another step along the way.
Yeah, he last secured a victory in episode 3, if you can remember that far back, taking down Corey Wolfhart, and then we last saw Malveaux in a match against AJ Balor that he dropped to Balor on episode 6 just before the pay-per-view. Haven't seen him since Countdown. He wasn't on the pay-per-view either, so first showing from Malveaux in a while, first showing from Vandalia in a while, and really a
Vandalia whiffing on a drop kick there.
Chance for both to, build some much-needed momentum.
Yeah, really kind of, make a statement about why they deserve to be here. Vandalia in particular, obviously, but both these guys are to a degree fighting for their relevance.
Solid neck breaker there from Vandalia.
Going up top, feeling dangerous.
Big elbow drop to the lower back, and Vandalia is going right back to the top as Malveaux struggles on the mat. Daring his opponent to get to his feet is Vandalia. And a big drop kick.
Yeah, that missile drop kick, man.
The deceptive
nice and
cruiserweight.
stiff.
Art Vandalia using the top rope to his advantage.
Now Malveaux just wrenching on that neck. I've
Nice
seen a lot
little
of technical approaches here from Malveaux. Working the arms a lot. He's now working the head. Kind of a different approach than we saw in the past.
Maybe what he needs too after that couple of high risk moves from Vandalia might have taken a little bit out of him. This may be a bit of a chance to recover here.
Yeah, sure. Catch your breath. Kind of control the pace a bit. Back to working the arm. It's a really sort of deliberate approach here from Malveaux now. Most importantly, I think he's keeping control. You see, every time Vandalia tries to get up, he's cut off. He can't get anything going.
Solid kick to the jaw, and Malveaux going for a cover, but he's up on the ropes. Vandalia able to get out of that.
Does not pay off there. Kind of looking a little desperate, going into the bag of tricks, but it does not pay off for Lazar Malveaux.
A little bit of environmental assistance with the ropes, but it didn't help him. Only the 1 count. Nice counter by Vandalia here.
Yeah, great little reversal. Some technical moves on display by the latex salesman Art Vandalia.
Big clothesline too. Vandalia showing some fight here as well. It's been a little bit of a back and forth match.
Yeah,
good showing from both, and Art looking to take to the skies for a 3rd time, but much slower up the turnbuckle this time.
We've talked about, this is kind of all or nothing here for
Oh, and he's caught by Malveaux and right into a pin. Only a 1 count though. What about the resilience from Vandalia? But what a counter by Malveaux.
Yeah, on Vandalia repeatedly going to the top, we've talked about this is kind of all or nothing for him. So I guess he's really, decided to leave it all on the line. He's going to, give it everything he's got. And if that means going to the top a bunch, then he's going to do it.
Top again, and Malveaux on the outside of the ring.
What's he thinking here?
Vandalia all the way up and over. Malveaux ducks underneath him. Both
did not look like he connected there.
Cleanly, yeah. Malveaux dodges it, but Vandalia not too much damage. What a kick from Malveaux, though.
Oh, just dropped him with that kick.
These two making their way up the ramp a little bit here. And Malveaux slinging Art back into the ring.
And a little mind game.
Having a little rest. As Vandalia down center of the ring. Malveaux repositioning.
What's he thinking here? Oh, wow. A deadlift German.
Into a cover. Vandalia kicks out at 2.
Incredible strength on display with that deadlift German suplex, though. My goodness.
Oh,
Yeah, Vandalia is a smaller guy, but that's still an entire human body you're lifting with no assistance.
A lot of strength there. Malveaux effectively sort of comboing some of his grapples into nice pin attempts. Vandalia still able to find a way out each time, though.
And back to the outside we go.
When Vandalia through the ropes, little baseball
Nice little
slide takes down Malveaux.
creative offense there. Malveaux didn't know where he was, and Vandalia caught him sleeping.
Some solid athleticism from Vandalia, but Malveaux right back at it in a little single leg Boston Crab here.
Yeah, kicking it old school. Also on the outside of the ring where you can't be submitted. So, I mean, do with that what you will. Oh, wow, and a big flatliner by Vandalia, planting the face of Malveaux right into the padding on the outside.
Ref's count reaches 6.5 before they get back in. Not going to have a count out just yet. But Vandalia
maybe this
seems
time
intent on sending Malveaux out. Now he's got him up on the apron and dumped off the top rope.
Little stun gun action for you there.
Art Vandalia liking the outside of the ring more than the inside here, and it's favored him pretty well, but Malveaux keeps finding a way to counter and, you know, get some momentum back his way. Both men scamper back to the ring. Off the ropes goes Malveaux, and a big miss from Art
Twice
Vandalia.
he's missed with that. Oh, goodness.
What a kick. Just took his legs out from under him. And sets him up.
Oh, man.
Busted him open right into the cover. That could be it for Art Vandalia as Malveaux goes for the cover. 1, 2, and 3. Lazar Malveaux puts him away.
Wow. That running knee, man. That was it.
That put him away in a hurry. Vandalia fought quite a bit before that, but man, that move really turned the tides there from Lazar Malveaux. We saw Vandalia effectively use the top of the ropes. A lot of
the outside of the ring.
Yeah, the outside. He was using the environment to his advantage, but Malveaux just landed that knee, and man, it put away Art right away.
Yeah, he was done. I think he was just out cold. I mean, yeah, wow. That was a good fight from Vandalia, but I mean, he's really got to think about his future in the company at 0-5.
Yeah, maybe the best showing we've seen from Vandalia thus far, but he drops to 0-5. Malveaux sitting at a much more respectable 2-3 now. That's going to help him climb up the power rankings a bit. We're not going to see Vandalia shake up the power rankings at all. I believe he will stay at his locked-in position at dead last, a place he's been for a while now. But we move on to our second match of the night, a tag team debut, as we've got Aloysius S. Yates and Deuce Bennett, a pairing that have gone 1-1 as a tag team, got a nice win over Deadfire, and then dropped a match to Jamie and Noah Quinn at Countdown. They got a pretty good booking after that upset of Deadfire. Now they take on Unhinged, SWA's newest tag team, Onyx and Slate Stone.
Yeah, these guys they have got a whole like rock thing going on. The like object, not the music. Couple of old school tag teams here, you know. The new one, Unhinged, they're just sort of like old timey brawlers who just beat the snot out of you. And we've talked about how, you know, Yates and Bennett are also very old school in their own way. But interested to see how this one looks. It might look right out of, you know, 1980s wrestling.
Yeah, Deuce Bennett got off to a pretty hot start in the SWA. He got a win in his debut match. Since then, he's lost another singles match, but you know, he's 500 across the board, 1-1 in singles, 1-1 in tag. His teammate His tag team partner tonight, Aloysius S. Yates, has struggled mightily in singles action, sitting at 0-3. But finally getting that win with Bennett, maybe the tag division a little bit more suited for Yates. He sits at 1-1. For the Stones, for Unhinged here, a little bit of a technical mixed with just straight power brawling. Slate Stone calls himself the Grinder, much more likely to kind of tie you up in a knot, lock a submission on you. Onyx, the Crusher, much more likely to just give you a stiff right, try to put you away that way.
Yeah, and they both come packing some interesting offense. You know, like you said, there's a little variety in their stylistic choices, but they are a strong team as well. Been working together for a long time now.
The Connecticut native Aloysius S. Yates, the largest man in this match, 6'7", 305. As always, sporting the fancy robe game. He's got his hat, came to the ring with his umbrella. His style is, maybe it's not for everyone, but he certainly rocks it pretty well.
Here we are with the official debut of just a couple of proud Southern boys who are ready to fight. And they brought hard hats.
A little bit of a nod to their background. They're billed from the quarry. That's not just a gimmick billing. These two have spent their lives, busting up rocks, pretty much. That's what I've been told. So we'll see if they can bring that sort of strength and power to the ring.
And man, they come out with a lot of passion, a lot of fire. They're telling everybody in this arena what's up, and they look like they're ready to go.
We're going to start with Bennett and Slate in the ring to kick this one off. Locked
Big
up.
Collar and elbow.
Bennett pushed into the corner. Ref's probably going to have to get in there and break this one up. Sure enough. They'll reset, and Bennett takes control.
Wow, and a little butterfly suplex to start us off.
Nice start for Bennett and Yates. And look at Yates with a nice right to the back of the head of Slate.
It's he may be wishing he was still wearing that hard hat after that blow to the back of the head.
Certainly,
the crowd certainly didn't like it.
Yates, we've seen Yates get DQ'd from a match for a low blow. He's no stranger to taking a risk.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's doesn't see himself as someone who's bound by the rules in the same way that everybody else is.
Deuce Bennett fighting out of just everything that Slate Stone has to offer so far, and it's been a good start for Deuce.
And Onyx wanting a tag already, but I don't think he's going to get it as we see a nice gut wrench suplex here, it looks like. My goodness.
A lot of strength on display from Deuce there. He's going to send Slate into the corner.
He's telling him it's already over.
Looking for a tag, and in comes Yates. Big combination maneuver there.
That's a lot of mass coming down from so high up. You don't often see guys that are Yates size going to the top turnbuckle, and that's for a reason. Oh, hung up on the ropes too, and Slate has got to be feeling it right now. Just getting manhandled by Yates. My goodness. This is not a good start to Slate Stone's tag team career here in the SWA. Needs to get his partner in and quick. Camel clutch applied. Wrenching on the neck. Stone gets out.
He's going to tag in his partner in a welcome reprieve for Slate Stone. Let's see what Onyx has to offer. It's been a rough going for Unhinged so far. A little back and forth action between these two. Yates has him into the corner, but Onyx gets out, but a nice move by Deuce Bennett.
Who's now coming into the ring.
Now they're going to tag back out. Both sides. I guess Bennett made a tag there.
Yeah, I think it was a blind tag, and then he snuck that kick in to create a little space. Nice little swinging neck breaker there, I guess that might have been. I'm not sure what that move was, but looked cool.
And Slate just waiting on his opposition. And that
he's taking a lot of
well for him.
He's taking a lot of offense. He might be a little dazed, and wow, Yates going up top again.
Ooh.
Only to Brett's rope that time, but still with the elbow. And Onyx trying to intervene on behalf of his partner, and the ref is just having none of it.
Into the corner goes Yates.
Big monkey flip there. Wow, it's a big fella to be turning over you like that. Got a submission going on here. Can't see too much because these boys aren't playing to the hard cam.
Yeah, I got the arm wrapped up. It looks like an Aloysius Yates has tapped out center of the ring.
Yates has tapped.
What a surprise victory for Unhinged.
Yeah.
It looked like it was all Yates and Bennett, and then Yates has tapped out to Slate Stone.
Wow. I mean, this one looked like it was like Slate Stone got just tossed around this ring for what felt like 10 minutes, and then indeed, that stretch there, and you can see Yates already thinking about tapping that early on. As soon as he locks it in, and he just gave up. That was too much for him to handle.
Never a chance for Yates. He never even had a fight to get out of that, and no help from Deuce Bennett either.
Yeah. I was thinking about a couple of things we saw in that match where, Deuce Bennett and Aloysius Yates, I think, were showing some teammate moments, right? Like they were working together. They looked like a real partnership, not just sort of two guys thrown together. But then there at the end, Bennett just watched his teammate get tapped out. I don't know. I guess they're probably going to have words at the back.
I think Bennett's probably as surprised as we were at that finish. I mean, yeah, it was locked in pretty good on Yates, but I didn't think he was going to tap out already. Hadn't done a ton of work, spin on his legs or anything. Just kind of locked that in. And
though, from the jump, we saw Yates kind of being real aggressive. He started off dirty, punching the back of the head, all that kind of stuff. Maybe he's dealing with something. Maybe he's not 100% and he knew that, so he was trying to get the match over quickly. Who knows? I guess all you can say is the sub-gang strikes again.
Yeah, wild finish. Caught me by surprise, but we move into our third match of the night. We've got Savaya, the Island God, taking on the Machine. A couple of SWA's largest here.
Yeah.
Savaya coming in at 319, 6'4". The Machine at 6'11" is SWA's tallest. 3-4 for Savaya, 2-3 for the Machine. The Machine actually won last week in episode 7. Got a win against Bushin Bedeau.
Yeah, it was a good win too. Machine was one that we've mentioned. He's kind of been on the cusp and hasn't been able to quite put it together a couple of times. He's had a few instances where he goes for that Machine takedown and it's just ducked under or whatever, just misses. But he finally connected and showed us why all the hype has been behind that move.
Yeah, for sure. And for Savaya, we last saw him at Countdown at the pay-per-view. Found himself in a submission match against DDT, who we'll see in another submission match later tonight. And Savaya came away from that with a loss, tapping out to DDT. He's got a chance to get himself back to 500 here against the Machine, but the Machine has a chance to get himself to 500 for the first time in the early goings of his career. struggled early on, but got a win last week and looking to capitalize on that momentum a little bit. Maybe get himself a third.
Yeah, and I think he can do it. No knock to Savaya. I think he's also shown that he's capable, but I feel like the machine's really looking like he's got some momentum going here. I think he's gonna use that extra size. They're both big, but Machine is certainly bigger, and I think he's gonna use that extra size to his advantage.
He's definitely got the reach advantage, and for someone who prides himself on his striking as much as he does, that really is and can be an advantage in a match like this. For the Machine, we've talked before, he's, despite sort of the early struggles, he's one of the SWA's hardest workers. And, I'm not hearing that same kind of talk about Savaya from the locker room. So we'll see if that comes into play. If Savaya's, endurance conditioning comes into play here, or if
and I think that's kind of maybe underneath what I was saying. I feel like Machine's got the momentum, and I think some of that is the work he's putting in, between shows, between matches, in the gym, watching tape, all of that stuff, really working on his craft, and it feels like Savaya's not really doing that, although he has started very strong in this match.
Yeah, sometimes just a ton of talent will carry you pretty far, even farther than hard work at times, and maybe that's a strategy for Savaya. Maybe he doesn't need to put in quite as much effort.
Yeah, we've seen, obviously, Savaya, like we said, he's a big guy, he's a strong guy. I think he's one of those that's sort of surprisingly athletic. He's he moves like a guy who's maybe a little smaller, but he's using his size really well here. We saw a couple times early on Machine going for like a shoulder tackle, and Savaya just, sloughing it off like it was nothing, and it's impressive. He's, controlled the match for the most part here early on.
Back and forth as Machine whipped off the ropes, and we've seen a lot of that here tonight. Just a strength on display. How about a lot of impact on the back of the Machine there?
Yeah, and he looks gassed already. Man, he's taking quite a bit of offense in the early goings here.
Nice counter in the corner, though.
Yeah, I think it's interesting.
Oh,
until that reversal, I was about to say, and it's been true again. Savaya really looks to be beating the Machine at his own game. He's doing strikes, and there's not a lot of, obviously with a guy the size of the Machine, you can't do a ton of suplexes and things like that, but he's beating him at striking, which is maybe a little surprising. Also, we had a little okey doke there. I don't know what's going on, but see, he just continues with the punches and the bicycle knee. Something else in mind here, looks like. That coquina clutch, maybe looking for it here.
He's got it locked in. Machine center of the ring. Can he find a way out of it? Will we see another submission here?
There it is.
Yes, we will. Savaya showing why he was in that submission match at Countdown. Match that he didn't win, but he gets one here. And it is sub night indeed so far. 2 of our 3 matches ending via submission. And we'll see at least a third, as we've got a submission match coming up next. So how about 3 submissions in a row? That's an SWA first.
What a night for the sub gang. I gotta say, that was really impressive. Commentator's curse, strikes, but I think maybe Savaya came out of Countdown with something to prove. think he said, yeah, I did lose to DDT, but that doesn't mean I'm going to lose to everybody. You know, he had a fire under him the whole time, controlled that match bell to bell. Props to him.
And, 4 losses is tough, but 4 wins is still, pretty highly
Yeah.
ranked in the SWA early goings. He's had a lot of matches. We've seen a lot of them, and he's been right at 500. But any match can be the one that swings some momentum back in your way, and perhaps that's what this was tonight. We've seen a lot from him, that cradle lift Samoan drop used as a finisher. Tonight he goes right to the coquina clutch and finishes the match. Maybe this is a change of mentality for Savaya.
Maybe so, but I think part of it too is, like I mentioned, you can't really lift a guy the size of the machine up on your shoulders for that Samoan drop. What you can do is bring him down on his back and choke him out, put him to sleep, and it worked like a charm for Savaya.
So we move into our next match. Again, this is a submission match. The previous 2 were not. Despite ending in submissions, this match will have to finish in a submission victory. There will be no pinfalls. And we've got
No
Dead
countouts either.
Peace taking on the Fed, Daniel Drake Thomas. For Dead Peace, he's been 0-2 as a singles competitor, but 2-1 in tag team is Deadfire, team he helped found. And Deadfire actually will be in action later on tonight, featuring Diego Mercer and Eric Draven, due to Dead Peace participating in this match.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about some pivots and some shifts in mentality. I think Dead Peace is a great example of that going well. He started off kind of rough with some losses in singles competition, found this tag team with Diego Mercer and Eric Draven, and they haven't been perfect, but they've looked really good in tag competition. They've all kind of got their legs back under them. They've got some confidence, and here we see again Dead Peace, entering the singles world and looking to make something of it.
And Dead Peace will sort of forever be the person who had the first loss in the SWA back in that inaugural tournament. But, not too much to be too upset about. His first loss was to Warren Windham, who is yet to be defeated in the SWA. So, just one of the many on the record of Windham so far in that win column. Dead Peace looking for his first win tonight. He's going to have to do it against the Fed, though, who holds the distinction of having the quickest match in SWA history, with a 54-second submission of Gonzo McLovin back in that inaugural tournament. And the Fed sits at 3-3 in singles action otherwise.
And his opponent, from no place in particular, weighing in at 2
And there he is, DDT himself.
Daniel Drake Thomas.
And for Thomas, 210 pounds, both of these men in this match tonight coming in at exactly 210 pounds. For Thomas, it's the ankle lock that you need to look out for. And for Dead Peace, he's known to employ a sleeper hold, that Koji clutch. But DDT's got a full arsenal of moves besides that ankle lock. We've seen him submit others with what he might consider just a normal part of his tool belt, not necessarily a finisher or even a signature move. Just lock in a simple arm bar and able to apply the right amount of pressure, the right angle, and get someone to tap out.
Yeah, I mean, he's a true artist of the submission form. Dead Peace is certainly a skilled, wrestler as well. But what do we got here?
A show of sportsmanship, but then Dead Peace, when DDT refuses the handshake, he throws a right there, and what a start to this match.
Yeah, that's wow.
A little bit of disrespect from both sides.
I think DDT not responding too well to that disrespect early on.
Not at all so far, and he's been on the offensive, but Dead Peace now looking to turn things around in his favor. A nice float over DDT. Big takedown on the knee there. Maybe looking to weaken the lower legs of Dead Piece. Set up for that
That ankle lock, yeah. Not a bad idea. Dead Piece with a big takedown of his own.
Yeah, a lot of power there on display from Dead Piece. Again, he's got a lot to prove. Looking for that first singles win. He's fared pretty well in tag team action, but always still good to get singles win under your belt, but he's tossed out of the ring here by the Fed.
And submissions are legal on the outside of the ring, just as a reminder to everybody here.
On that drop kick attempt.
Both these guys back and forth, a lot of reversals, really technical work. This has been already an exciting match. Oh, basement drop kick taking out the knee again.
Yeah, focusing on the lower legs. Won't be surprised if that comes back into play later. Thomas slams Piece into the announce table.
What's he thinking here? Oh.
Head first off of it. Ref said a 7 count as Dead Piece goes head first off the post.
You know, we said no countouts, but I suppose that's not true since the ref is counting. I thought that there weren't countouts in a submission match.
Sends him in at 8, and the Fed's back in the ring. He's got the legs twisted up a bit, wrenching on the knee. Dead Piece close to the ropes. Seems to be trying to fight out of this hold, though, and the Fed's going to let him out of it. We've seen this before. You know, it's tough to say what's better as he gets him now in another submission attempt.
And no tap there. The ref was very clear.
Yeah,
but
I think
DDT's got something in mind. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Already locking in that ankle lock. And Dead Piece is tapped out already. Daniel Drake Thomas makes quick work of Dead Piece.
Man.
What a showing from the Fed.
Yeah, just, started off a little back and forth after Dead Piece, kind of, with the cheap shot, but my goodness. DDT just took over.
We saw him focus on the lower legs, and then he went right to that ankle lock and put him away with it the first time. What a combination there from Thomas. He goes from wrenching on the knee of Dead Piece right into a bit of a headlock, stretching on the neck, and then right into the ankle lock. Just a nice trio of moves that puts away Dead Piece. And you know what I was getting at there, we saw him let Dead Piece out of that first submission attempt. And for those watching at home, you might think, well, why not just keep it locked in if you've got control of it? And for someone like DDT, sometimes, making sure that the opponent doesn't slip out of something, maintaining control is more important than the pain you might inflict for a few more seconds of that submission. And the Fed employed it pretty well there. He let him out of the hold, but then immediately applied another hold as Dead Piece tried to recover from the first one, and really just kind of chained him from one to the other until he put him away.
I think that's right. I think you're right on the money. That's the sort of higher order artistry that you see from someone like DDT, who really is like a consummate professional when it comes to submission work. And I was going to try to cut off and talk about this match, but we got 10 minutes before Goldenberg's going to get to the ring, so we can keep talking.
Have time. We've seen now 3 straight submission victories. Slate Stone getting the win in the tag team match via submission. We just saw DDT win the submission match, and Savaya with the Coquina clutch. With Yamaguchi in this match, there's a chance that we can just keep Sub Night going and get 4 in a row. He's been known to employ an ankle lock of his own. And, if he was able to put Benjamin Goldenberg away with that, we could have 4 submissions in a row. But Goldenberg with that jackhammer, tombstone pile driver, he's probably not going to be looking for a submission here, but he's definitely not going to be looking to drop one to Yamaguchi either.
No, I think he would see losing to Yamaguchi as beneath him a bit. Goldenberg had his moment early on where he was very close to the top of the card, and he's kind of dropped off a bit, you know, losing in that great match against Yasuke Bozeman that led to them swapping places. Bozeman ending up in the chamber competing for the title, and Goldenberg competing for the path to glory. You know, neither was really a dishonor, but they kind of swapped places. And then Goldenberg was maybe the odds-on favorite to win Path to Glory, and he did not do so. So I think he's looking to kind of right the ship here a little bit, remind everybody that he's someone who needs to be taken very seriously here in the SWA.
Yeah, a good chance of it here. A chance for both of these men to pick up their 4th win in the SWA. 3-2 for Goldenberg, 3-1 for Yamaguchi. They both were involved in that Path to Glory match. Neither coming away victorious. It's tough to win, you know, when you got 5 others in a match with you. Calvin Abueva, of course, won the briefcase at Countdown and defended it last week against Yasuke Bozeman in a pretty dominant performance.
Yeah.
Word is we may see Abueva again next week if he hasn't cashed in the briefcase before then, with that briefcase on the line once again. But a couple of people who were in that match that want to get themselves going back up the rankings and, you know, as always, looking for an opportunity at the title, Yamaguchi and Goldenberg. For Yamaguchi, you know, his only loss in singles action came on night 1 of the SWA when he dropped to Painwrecker in the inaugural tournament. Since the tournament is 3-0 in singles action, pretty good standing since then. He's taken down El Puma, Deuce Bennett, handed Deuce Bennett his only loss, and a pretty important win against DDT in that Path to Glory qualifier. He's had a pretty good resume so far.
Yeah, I think he really has. You know, I think that first loss, we were kind of, you know, unsure what to think, perhaps. You know, not quite sure what to make of him. But I think he has really turned it around quite a bit since then, and I think he's been very impressive. You know, making good use of that ankle lock and that go to sleep that really are the sort of hallmarks of how he puts people away.
Yeah, we have seen him secure a couple of submission victories, which is why it's not off the table here that we could see our 4th in a row. You know, we've already had back-to-back submissions, was an SWA first, certainly 3 in a row. 4 in a row, that's a mark that you might not see beaten for a while. See if Yamaguchi can pull it off here tonight, but a good start.
Goldenberg, Goldenberg gonna definitely have a couple things to say about that, starting off with that big press slam, but Yamaguchi already on the offensive here.
Nice counter. Goldenberg gets the fist up, blocks that attack, and sends Yamaguchi right over the top rope to the outside.
And Goldenberg moving very crisp tonight. He's he got a lot of zip to his movements. Both of them really are.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of action outside the ring tonight in all of these matches. Already in this one as well. Yamaguchi, nice counter as Goldenberg tries to wait for him inside the ring. Big sidewalk slam from Goldenberg.
And heavy on the lariat into the corner, but Goldenberg right back with one of his own. Looking to work on the midsection there, work on the ribs and the spine.
Yeah, a lot of impact dropped on the knee of Goldenberg and a series of kicks to the downed Yamaguchi. He's already looking for a cover. He's only going to get a 1 count, though. Lifts him up just to slap him back down.
Big high kick there from Yamaguchi.
Yeah, and looking for a cover of his own. He's got a 1 count.
It's only going to be 1, though.
Can't quite make up his mind. Just goes for a kick and then a right hand. He's got Goldenberg against the ropes.
Doesn't know what to do with him, though.
Whips him off the top rope, neck
Oh.
first.
My goodness.
There's some give in them ropes, but not with that kind of impact. Goldenberg has him in a grapple there and doesn't do anything with it.
Yeah, a little hesitation there. Uh-oh.
Now he's taking him up top rope, big power bomb.
That's a big jackknife
on the back there.
And a jackknife power bomb. Now he's looking to maybe pin him and end it right here.
Ref around for the count. Takes him a second 2 count.
No, sir.
Goldenberg's not going to be happy with the expediency of the ref on that count, but he's stalking Yamaguchi as he gets to his feet, and up he goes for that tombstone pile driver. Down on the head is Yamaguchi, and Goldenberg going to take him center of the ring, wasting a little bit of time there, though. Will that cost him? 2 count.
Looks like it may have.
Yamaguchi, and sure enough, yeah. Had he gone for the cover right away, yeah, Yamaguchi might have got to a rope, but he also might have had a 3 count there.
Yep. That's one of those things, you know, you got to make your decision in a split second, and you don't have time to look back because the match keeps going on. And he's got to move on from that now. It doesn't matter what happened. You got to focus on getting the next pin, beat him up some more.
Another sidewalk slam. Yamaguchi's taken a lot of offense to the back in his midsection so far. Goldenberg just dragging him around the ring.
Just sort of taunting him, maybe. I don't know what's going on here. What's he thinking?
Gets him where he wants him. And
oh, there it is.
The ropes, but a nice job by Yamaguchi to get out of that dirty pin attempt. Ref didn't seem to notice. Most oblivious ref in the game. Big Superman punch from Yamaguchi. And
now he's taking a moment.
Flat. But Benjamin Goldenberg back to his feet, and he's feeling himself now. Big kick.
Uh-oh, here's that ankle lock from Yamaguchi.
Got one locked in, and he drops down, locking in that hold even deeper. Goldenberg reaching for the ropes.
Is he going to get it? Is he going to get it? He's right there.
Get out of this hold.
Oh,
just
wow. Is he going to...
Twisting over, delivering some kicks to Yamaguchi, and he breaks the hold.
Wow, can barely put any weight on that leg, but impressive fight there from Goldenberg. Gotta say, we've seen that move put away multiple wrestlers here in the SWA, but Goldenberg is not ready to tap out yet.
Benjamin Goldenberg has really committed to just dragging Tomio Yamaguchi around the ring.
Like, does he have like a rug burn on his back or something? Like, what is the point of all the dragging?
One of the oddest moves we've seen in the SWA so far. He gets a 2 count there. You got to think
suddenly
the 12 seconds he spent dragging his opponent around might have helped him get a 3 count.
Yeah, it's like he thinks the canvas is actually sandpaper or something. I don't know what he's thinking with that.
Yeah, this is an attack match. There's nothing on the mat.
Working on the neck now. Goldenberg tired from all that dragging he's been doing. Really working his quads, so he's taking a breather here. Uh-oh. Man, if you're wrestling someone like Yamaguchi, I think you got to be scared anytime he gets a hold of your foot, because that could be the end for you.
Couple of big clotheslines.
Oh, there he goes again.
Takes down his opponent with a nice back kick.
What's he thinking here?
Big Superman punch once again, and
punch.
Right into a cover. Wasting no time as Yamaguchi, and he puts away Benjamin Goldenberg. 1, 2, 3. What a finish from Yamaguchi. That second Superman punch and he wasted no time going for Goldenberg, put him in a cover, and that's what we see. That's what we said about Goldenberg so much in this match. Just go for the cover right away, and Yamaguchi did that and got himself a victory. A nice win for Tomio as he goes to 4-1 in singles action. Moves himself up the power rankings, and Goldenberg finds himself sitting at 500 now, falling to 3-3.
Yeah, and what a fall from Goldenberg there. That's a couple of big losses in a row, and he's not going to be happy with those results.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a downward trend for Goldenberg. Certainly Yamaguchi on the rise, and has been deadly so far. He's put down some really good opponents and has looked pretty much unstoppable in singles action since the tournament. But we move away from singles action once again. Our second to last match of the night, another tag team affair. This time it's Deadfire, featuring Diego Mercer and Eric Draven, who are undefeated as a pairing. 2-0, they got a victory against Matthew Quinn and Corey Quinn at Countdown at the pay-per-view. They spoiled the Quinn's attempts at getting 2 victories on one night. Did these two, and tonight they're going to face off against the other pairing of the Quinn brothers, Jamie and Noah Quinn, who are undefeated as a tag pairing as well.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting, setup like you mentioned. There's obviously the narrative of the Quinn spoilers, you might say, but also like the particular combinations of Quinns. We see the ones that are maybe a bit more of a tag specialist group, and it's really a meeting of some of the mighty forces in our tag division this early on. I'm excited to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, the Quinn brothers as a whole sit at 3-1 in tag team action. 4-1 in tag team action.
Yes, 4-1.
With Matthew and Corey got a bit of a surprise victory perhaps last week against Fuerza Mayor. They sit at 2-1, but Jamie and Noah account for 2 victories, no losses in that record, and with them sitting at 2-0 as a pairing, Draven and Mercer sitting at 2-0 as a pairing for Deadfire. We've got a lot of interesting mixes between some of these tag teams that feature 3 and 4 competitors, but a couple of undefeated pairings here, and one of them is going to come away with a victory tonight and perhaps cement themselves as the team to beat in the tag division.
Yeah, could be. I think it's still early goings. We've mentioned Fuerza Mayor. We've also seen the debut of Unhinged tonight. I think it's an exciting time for the tag division here in the SWA. I think it's really starting to take off. Some good stuff going early on. A lot of great teams, a lot of exciting wrestling. I'm excited to see who's going to come out on top, and maybe someday soon we'll see a tag belt introduced. Obviously all these guys will want to fight for that gold, and it'll be interesting to see what that extra motivation can bring out of these wonderful tag wrestlers.
Yeah, and for Deadfire, a pretty big match here. The only loss the Quinns have suffered has been to these 2 men right here, Diego Mercer and Eric Draven.
Mm-hmm.
They've beat Corey and Matthew. If they beat Jamie and Noah tonight, then they will have secured a victory against all 4 of the brothers. Hard to argue that would make these 2 perhaps the best duo in the SWA's tag division, but Jamie and Noah, they're going to have a lot to say about that. They haven't been put down yet, and they've looked really good every time they've been in the ring together. And we'll be looking to move to 5-1 for the Quinns, 3-0 for their pairing with a win tonight. My understanding is that the Quinn brothers will be accompanied by Corey tonight, who will stand ringside for this matchup. No Matthew.
And there was a bit of a rule against that at the pay-per-view, if I remember, or sometime recently with the Quinn brothers. You know, there was a no no manager or no accompany
Their opponent,
rule in
accompanied
place
by Corey Quinn.
because
And
we've seen some
representing
shenanigans from a
Deadfire
couple of these
for
brothers
the
in the
sixth
past.
round, James
And you know, I don't blame
Noah
the officials
Quinn.
for trying to kind of keep things under control because with Dead Piece Wrestling earlier tonight, Deadfire does not have the luxury of a third person outside a corner man.
Yeah, we'll see if it comes into play in this match. Perhaps a more strictly locked down ringside will come into play if it ends up, you know, affecting a match tonight. But we'll see. The Quinn brothers, an interesting pairing, having 4 participants, and Deadfire having 3 of their own. All the other teams that we've seen work together so far, just a pairing of 2. That's what we've seen from Unhinged. That's what we've seen from Fuerza Mayor, Yates and Bennett. Strength in numbers can come into play, but also, you know, a loss from any Quinn counts as a loss for the Quinns. So they got to figure out, you know, how these pairings work. So far, they've all worked together in a set pair of 2. Deadfire's mixed it up a little bit. You know, will we see the Quinns end up mixing it up, or will they kind of figure out maybe what their best pairing is and just stick with that?
Yeah, who knows? Little back and forth technical display to open up the match here.
Trading control back and forth. Off the ropes goes Mercer, and
Ooh, a
Jamie
big
does it.
right there.
Yeah.
A nice arm drag by Mercer. And already Quinn's taking a powder.
Seems to have done him some good as he comes back in and takes control.
If only for a moment.
Yeah, nice uppercut by Mercer, who tries to spear Jamie in the corner, but nobody home. Now he's getting his face kicked in against the turnbuckle there. A lot of impact on the back over the knee of Jamie Quinn there, but back and forth a lot from these two. Jamie focusing a lot of impact on the lower back of Diego Mercer so far, effectively using his knees for that.
Here we might see a tag. There we go. There's some of that, you know, wily Quinn brothers offense.
Ooh,
wow.
Hurricane Rana into a powerbomb, but look how quick Diego Mercer's back up to his feet. The resiliency of Deadfire has been well noted before, and they're right back on the offensive.
And Mercer in particular, it's just impossible to keep him down. You know, they call him the Phoenix because he always rises from the ashes. We've seen him do this sort of thing against, you know, El Puma, who looked like had him beat, and then he just managed. Wow, incredible little Phoenix splash there.
Also calling the Phoenix for the ability to take flight.
My goodness.
But right away, Noah Quinn getting out of the way and maybe trying to take a little bit of control back for the Quinns here.
Going back to the corner, but he's not going to make it.
Mercer elbows his way out of that hold. And sending Noah back to the corner. Will he look to get Draven involved? And sure enough, here comes the Crow.
The wise move. You know, Mercer's great and can take a lot of damage, but it's always good to have the freshest man. We talk about that often with our tag matches here. Dragon screw leg takedown, and Noah Quinn's going to tag out.
Bringing back in Jamie. And look at the Crow going over top.
Little offense on 2-for-1 there.
Yeah, power bombing Noah Quinn out to the outside off the apron. A ton of impact, but the Crow is drop kicked into the apron now by Jamie.
And honestly, I'm impressed that Corey's staying out of it over here. You know, it happened right in front of him. Noah wasn't the legal man. I would not have blamed Corey for getting involved just to say, hey, what's your problem here? But he stayed out of it. You know, that maybe the Quinns have turned over a new leaf.
Suplex there on Jamie. The count's already up to a 6. Make that a 7. It's been a little bit of a 2-on-1 action. Face first off the post goes Eric Draven.
Gonna rearrange his nose there.
8 count now. We've seen the Quinns win on a count out before. This one is at 9. Draven is inside. Quinn's inside at a 9. And this match will continue inside the ring. That was close.
A part of me thought that maybe they were going to let Noah keep beating up Draven on the outside and just have Jamie Quinn sneak back in for another easy win, but they want to do this the right way, I guess.
Yeah, a bit surprising. We have seen that exact strategy, though we have seen it employed by Matthew and Corey. Jamie and Noah have won their matches in the ring.
Big Northern Lights suplex there.
And the Crow rolls outside to get away for the moment. But he's caught right back up and driven onto the knee of Jamie Quinn.
What's he thinking here? Sizing up his opponent as Draven doesn't know where he is.
Spear from Jamie Quinn. And the Crow got to his feet and was immediately sent back down to the ground. And Jamie applying a lot of pressure to the back of Eric Draven here. A couple of...
Oh, my goodness. That looks...
to really stretch him out. And we've got a fourth submission of the night. Jamie Quinn taps out the Crow.
Incredible work from Jamie Quinn to just put away the Crow there. You know, and I think the turning point in that match was actually when Draven decided to go to the outside with Noah. I think he lost sight of what was going on in the match, tried to get in some extra licks on a guy who had been beating him up a little bit, and that turned the tide.
Yeah, it really turned into 2-on-1 on the outside, and, you know, the Crow never able to get Mercer back in the ring. And Jamie, man, he just had that thing locked in. There was no chance for Draven to get out of it. Our fourth submission of the night. And Jamie and Noah improved to 3-0 as a team. The Quinns improved to 5-1 as a whole. Hard to argue that they're not the team to beat in the SWA.
It certainly is difficult to argue that, and here they are celebrating in the ring. Feeling like they're on top of the world, waiting for that tag team gold to be theirs for the taking.
What a win and what a night for the submission specialists so far. We had a submissions only match, so we expected 1. We did not expect 4, which is what we've had so far. I don't know that we're going to see 1 in our main event, but we've seen 4 out of 6. And man, they've already won over the majority of our 7 match card tonight. So a great showing from the sub gang of the SWA, as it were, as we head into our main event.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. You know, a couple of bigger guys in the SWA, a couple of guys who are who have recently been in the title picture looking to compete. You know, both of them were in the chamber match. Both of them have a pretty decent claim to the title itself, you know, or at least to be the next person to challenge for it. But between the two of them, I don't know what I can make beforehand, at least.
Yeah, for the Boulder, he's the largest superstar in the SWA as it comes to weight at 380 pounds. 6'10 versus 6'9, two of the tallest in the SWA as well. And like you said, two of the people at the very tip top of the power rankings, both featured in that chamber match. The Boulder didn't have the best showing. Someone's got to be first. He was early out of the cage, and the opposite story for Domingo Cervantes, who was second, only eliminated by Warren Windham, was inches within the title, certainly would like another chance at it. The Boulder had his chance at the title in the finals of the inaugural tournament, where he lost to Warren Windham.
Indeed. Yeah, so both of these guys have had a shot, but I think in both cases they looked particularly capable of winning, so it wasn't like, oh, you've had your chance and it's over. Both of these guys are still right there, still chomping at the bit, and still both look like they are deserving of another chance at that title.
A lot of similarities between these two. 3 losses combined between them, 5-2 for the Boulder, 3-1 for Cervantes. Cervantes' only loss was against Warren Windham in the inaugural tournament. The Boulder's first loss was against Warren Windham in the inaugural tournament. He has since lost to the Ace in singles action. At 5-2, the Boulder is one of only 2 superstars with 5 wins, 3 total, with Warren Windham sitting at 6-0. The other with 5 happens to be Triple G, who is 5-2. And of note, his 2 losses have both come to the Boulder, including last week.
Yeah, so both these guys, coming off recent really good showings. Not to mention Cervantes is part of Fuerza Mayor and has had a pretty strong showing in the tag division early on. I think either one of these guys could come out on top tonight. I really don't know what to make of this match beforehand, except that I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, and we've heard some rumblings, some rumors that the winner of this match will actually have a title shot against Warren Windham next week. Unsure if that's confirmed just yet, but a lot riding on this match. If so, we could see someone get, for the Boulder, it would be another one-on-one shot against Windham. For Cervantes, it would be a first, and one that he's definitely wanting since the chamber match, though they both have lost to Windham in singles action back in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I've heard those rumors as well, and, it's unconfirmed as of yet, but I do think it would make sense. We've talked about the resumes of both of these guys, and both of them are right there in the picture, and I think both have a case to be the next challenger, so it would certainly make sense for either one of them, whoever comes out on top here tonight, to get a shot at the title. As Cervantes shows a little flair with his signature dancing, trademark swagger and dance moves.
Yeah, and for Cervantes, there's an argument for it already as he goes for a pin, gets a 1 count. There's an argument for him deserving a shot after finishing in the final 2 of that chamber match, getting a one-on-one without, a lot of action beforehand, eliminations of other competitors. For the Boulder, he was sitting at 4-2, and really his showing in the chamber wasn't the best, but then last week in that one-on-one against Triple G, who at the time was 5-1, just a dominant victory for the Boulder, really kind of put himself back up the power rankings. He's held a spot in the top 5, top 10 this whole time in the SWA, but a win over Triple G moved him up a little bit and has him right there in contention once again.
Yeah, I mean, what more can you say?
A couple of strong clotheslines. How about a third? Takes down Cervantes. Domingo catches that punch, delivers one of his own, and a big double axe handle slam to take down the Boulder. It's where you want to keep Tupuolo as on the ground if possible.
Although for Cervantes, the size difference is not. Oh wow, I'm gonna say the size difference isn't quite as dramatic as it has been for others, but Tupuolo already bleeding here.
Nice DDT there though for the Boulder, but he's back down. Sure enough, Domingo's busted him open. We're pretty early in this match. We'll see if that comes into play, and there's another one of those signature dances from Cervantes.
He's feeling the swagger tonight and quite aggressive as he's already managed to bust open his opponent so early. It's surprising, to say the least.
Setting up the boulder, and that's 380
Wow.
pounds up on the shoulders for that crucifix power bomb. What
And
an impact.
To just casually throw an almost 400-pound human like that.
To just
incredible.
Throw it and finish the match with it. What a showing from Domingo
Incredible.
Cervantes.
That answers that question about who deserves a title match next week. My goodness. If that doesn't convince the powers that be, I don't know what will.
Domingo, I mean, lifting the nearly 400-pound Hawaiian up on his shoulders and tossing him across the ring. It's no surprise that the boulder couldn't kick out of that 1, 2, and 3. And Domingo, with one of our quickest matches of the night in our main event, puts away the boulder. What a showing.
Yeah, I'm speechless. That was incredible. I don't even know what to say. Just an absolute dominant performance. There was a little bit of back and forth at the beginning, but man, Cervantes got control, did not let up, and finished him very quickly. Wild.
We had a great one here tonight as we finish up our main event. Lazar Malveaux kicked us off with a win against Art Vandalia. Unhinged gets a submission victory over Yates and DB. Then we saw that trend continue with Savaya getting a submission over the Machine. DDT won our submission match. Tomio Yamaguchi took down Goldenberg, not via submission, a rarity on tonight's card. Jamie Quinn got the submission victory against Deadfire, tapping out the Crow, and a huge win for Domingo Cervantes in our main event. As alluded to, we expect to see Warren Windham on our next week's show, perhaps in a title match against Domingo Cervantes after a big win here tonight. We're also looking forward to potentially showing Calvin Abueva once again defending that Path to Glory briefcase, the coveted briefcase that will guarantee someone a title shot. And, we would expect to see in action at least, the Ace, El Sangre, some of the people we haven't seen since the pay-per-view that have been, off the show the last couple of weeks would be expected to appear next week. Episode 9, we've got 2 more episodes before our next pay-per-view. There will be, a lot more announced as it pertains to that in the near future, but we appreciate you coming out and look forward to seeing you next week. As always, thanks to Doc for coming out, doing some commentary. Had some great matches tonight. And we will catch you next week.